So the rumours are true. Revell have just announced Project Harrier. The idea of this is that we can watch the kit go from its conception all the way through to its creation, and we can get involved with the feedback, we can watch the development process of it. In fact, let's go over now and have a look at some of the details of this great new idea from Revell. Right, let's pull back the curtain on how a manufacturer like Revell actually builds a massive secret launch like this brand new Harrier project. Revell has shared a deep dive into their engineering diary, and before they even touched a single line of CAD software, their team had to compile an absolute mountain of research. Because original factory production drawings are practically impossible to source for a Cold War legend like this, Revell team had to hit the road back in early 2025. Their first stop was the Heritage Centre at RAF Wittering to get their hands on the real machinery. They scanned everything from the GT3 and the trainers right down to the prototype P1127 to lock in those complex, tricky nose shapes. And it turns out nobody's safe from the Brit modeller rumour mill because you guys probably noticed the community over there did spot Revell guys on base filming. After a brief pause to push out the rest of their current catalogue, Revell unleashed their design team to go fully hands-on with the airframe at Gatwick Aviation Museum. This gave their engineers a true appreciation for just how complex the curvy fuselage shapes really are on the Harriers. And this is where they brought out the high-tech wizardry. They used a specialist sub-millimetre 3D scanner to map out the legendary Pegasus engine down to a staggering 0.1 of a millimetre. Because Gatwick had the ejection seat fully removed from the jet, the Revell team managed to take thousands of flawless photogrammetry images of the cockpit floor spaces that are usually hidden in total darkness. It completely eliminates any guesswork from the tooling, which means the final plastic is going to look really smart. Revell have been absolutely buzzing to get this project announced because they wanted us in the community to have a front row seat for the entire journey. To give us something meaty to look at right out the gate, their team has kicked off the heavy lifting back in late March. Revell shows how they do the heavy alignment of those massive 3D scans to build the cross-sectional planes, creating what they call the skeleton model. Think of this stage as the concrete foundations of a house. If Revell messes up the maths here, it causes absolute chaos for the tooling moulds later down the line. So they've been surgical from day one to ensure these kits build like a dream for us. Once the skeleton model was locked in, their designers start fleshing out the actual geometry of the jump jet, turning raw sketches into solid surfaces before the layout of the parts. And Revell have made a massive, really smart decision for this kit. They are tooling a completely separate Pegasus engine and a display trolley to go with it. Now you might ask, why can't they just put the engine straight into the fuselage? Well, Revell have explained that if they do that, the engine has to be scaled down and made too small just to clear the thickness of the plastic fuselage walls, which will look completely wrong when you display it externally. So the main engine is purely for external display on its trolley, but the bits you can actually see from the outside, like those massive forward fan blades, have been beautifully engineered as separate pieces inside the airframe model. Over the next month, the design team will continue their work progressing the skeleton models, and we're expecting an update post around early June on this project. So, how do we feel about this new bombshell announcement from Revell? It's got a penciled in date of autumn 2027 release for this one, so yeah, very excited for this. Let us know in the chat your thoughts.